next. So this next year, I believe this year तो we are not thinking, isn't it, Vamaji?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
next year, from the next year only, we'll be going for the physical this thing programs. But this year, so we are
It
not
will go
applying.
on like this. I think this online experience, from my point of view, I think this also
It's good.
is good. It's an
It's good. वही
From the
थोड़ा
from the running the chapter, actually, from the so many point of view, actually, it's good because the physically,
there are
actually,
some,
the members, it was so difficult, and this is safety point of view also, and the convenience point of view also, and the costing, the timing, all
exactly.
actually it's suiting us. Actually, this
No,
is more
even for
convenient.
even
Yeah.
for me
in some,
personally,
in
I
some
mean,
of the
had it been
software company, this work from home is becoming more productive. They have given profit to the organization.
All IT companies, 90%,
So they
95% of
want
the right now.
that should continue. So a lot of changes will happen in the months to come.
It's almost 2 years right now. All the IT companies, 99.9% of staffing are working from home. They are not calling office because they are again waiting for the third wave actually. So this year, so they will not be calling the employees to the office actually. So but their profile and nature of business is there, they can sustain actually. So that is not a problem. The nature of business is that they can sustain easily. So that's why they're going for, and it is reducing the costing also overall.
Very
The
cost.
infrastructure there.
office
Exactly.
overhead expenses have reduced.
Overhead expenses. From the business point of view, if you'll be thinking actually, that's good.
Madam, I make you host.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. Arnav has also come. So we'll be starting in the next
Arnav,
one.
are you there?
Arnav, can you hear me?
Morning.
Arnav?
Yes, Seema ma'am, I'm there.
How are you, Arnav?
I am good. How are you, ma'am?
I'm also good actually, because last time also I was trying to interact with you, but you were, I think you were not speaking at all.
Yeah. There was some problem with my system,
Okay.
so it was not taking the audio video thing.
Okay.
So today it is fine, so I'm comfortable. So we can talk today.
So, yeah, you're working in Noida-based company only, I believe, isn't it, Arnav?
No, my office is in Gurgaon.
Acha, Gurgaon. Okay.
I work with NIIT.
Acha, you're working with NIIT. Okay. And
Correct.
which profile you're working on now?
I'm working. I'm in the position of DGM with them.
Acha, DGM, which department?
DGM, Sales and Service Excellence. That's what we
Acha,
call our
service
work.
excellence, sales and service excellence you're working.
So we are into corporate trainings. So
Acha, you are into the corporate training. So sales training you're giving, the product and services.
Yeah, sometimes I give, otherwise I organize or organize the project and give the solution. Not every time I'm training, so it depends. If I'm required, then I do it also.
So yeah, so why you picked up this course to do, Arnav?
One thing was brushing up basic concepts of training and terminologies. See, as a practical thing, I know how to train, and that is not a challenge, because now 16, 17 years of delivering training, delivery is not an issue. But when I speak to clients, these terminologies, they help me. So for example, different types of role plays. I knew these role plays and I was always using them, but I never knew the terminologies of those techniques.
Yeah, because I'm into the HR generalist class. So every freshers used to come. So I used to tell them actually that terminology should come at tongue, so that you people should be reflecting the good professional actually. Because so that is the reason actually. So because are you finding this course any utility? You both, Sudeep, you're finding it out?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Another plus point is, we get to come in contact with so many people.
Networking. So for that you like networking is the business these days. For the networking, only professional institutions we are getting associated for the networking.
In fact, in our industry, Indian context, you get more business through connections and relationships. The trust is very high.
So, why only you're talking in Indian context actually? Networking is globally it's required after after the globalization actually.
Only thing, our international business, I can say for my company, there it is little easier to just project your own company USP or the solution benefits but here people have this emotional connect somehow.
Yeah, emotion. That is very, very personal
Yeah.
factor, the emotional constituent.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Indian
So
people are networking. The great,
ours is little different, a little more. We are
very true.
more warm people than compared to
Hmm.
Americans or any other
Very
country.
true, very true. So that's
Actually,
why
this
Indians are best, na? That's why.
Indians are best.
We are
actually,
proud
I
to
have
be,
felt
we
this.
are proud to be Indian.
Yes, yes. Any day, any
Yeah,
day.
exactly. Yeah. So Deep, you were saying something, and then I'll be coming to the sharing
Yeah,
the.
yeah. Actually, I have felt this.
Right, madam. I think I will take a lead.
Okay, okay,
I
Bamaji.
will request participant to fill
Okay.
the feedback form online
Sure,
which I have
sure,
given.
sure.
Okay.
Okay,
Anant
madam.
Chaudhary
Anand Chaudhary.
connecting. Yeah, Anant.
Okay,
Yeah,
bye-bye.
hello, Anant.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, you are from which chapter, Anant?
I'm from Noida chapter, ma'am.
Noida chapter only. Acha, okay. I have not seen your name before. So you are doing the OD, huh? Where are you working, Anant?
I'm working with Guardian Life Insurance.
Okay. In Noida.
Yes.
Which profile, Anant?
I'm a global LMS manager.
Acha, okay. So you are doing the OD because you have done the HR analytics also, the topic. You have picked up the OD actually. That's why I wanted to know why you have picked up this topic actually. Coming to this before sharing the PPT, I would like to know why you have picked up the OD. Why you want to do a OD, Anand?
Right. So actually, being an LMS manager, all of my stakeholders are from the HR department,
Okay.
and they come with a requirement of a lot of organizational development and change management. Actually, change management is more of my interest because whenever we are rolling out big interventions, change management is an integral part of it. We have to communicate, we have to plan the communications in a way that it's not a sudden jolt for the employees, and it becomes a way of life for them. So and regularly we are involved in that. So I thought this would be a good exposure to take this
Okay.
as an elective.
So last time little I had touched about the difference between the OD and the change, but the next two sessions, last two sessions will be discussing on the change management actually. But the change management is the short term and the OD is the long term. That the basic difference you people need to understand. Change management, the integral part of the OD actually. OD is a very big picture actually. So anyway, this is the good topic actually, contemporary topic right now. So now I'll be sharing the coming to the PPT actually. So just give me a sec. Okay, so today is the session 2, the first session what we did. So can you recall all? Because the first session we touched the OD, what is OD and what OD is not. Okay, and then we talk about the relevance of the field of the OD actually. What are the three major trends which are making the field of OD more relevant? Okay, so relevance, three major trend. Which three major trend we have talked about? Anybody can tell me? What are the three major trends which are shaping the path of change in the organizations? Who can tell me?
I think one, we were talking about globalization, and then
Rightly said,
yeah,
yes.
and
And
IT revolution that is happening.
very right.
So these were
And
two.
third one, who can tell? Three major trends which are shaping the change into the organization, which are making the field of OD more relevant, is as the Arnav has said actually. The first is the globalization, second is the information technology IT, and the third is the managerial innovations. Managerial innovations actually. Okay, so these are the three trends which are shaping the path of the change into the organizations. Then we talk about the history of OD. And then history of OD, how the OD evolved from last 50 years, actually from 1950s till date. And in that we talked about the 5 stems of the OD. Who can tell me the 5 stems of the OD? What are the 5 stems of the OD? Anyone can recall before coming to the today's topic? What are the 5 steps of the OD field? It is started with Sudeep?
Laboratory
Training. Yes,
laboratory training,
right.
then action research,
Very rightly said. Action research and the
then
survey feedback.
yeah,
Yes.
normative approaches,
Approach. Very good.
quality of life,
Ah.
and then strategic changes.
Very rightly said. So these are the 5 stems actually till day 2000 on what the strategic change is the new wing which got attached to the OD field of the OD actually. And then we analyze the OD strategy. Okay, out of these currently practiced, what strategy has come out of this history of the ODs actually. So today we'll be doing the types of OD model actually. Okay, so OD model, organizational development model. What is the role of the models in the field of organizational development? That you little on that I wanted to speak actually. Okay, from 19th century, from its beginning, we can say from the beginning of the field of OD, various change model have been proposed to guide the core field of the OD to plan and implement the change in order to promote organizational effectiveness. Okay, so various model have been proposed to the field of core from its beginning actually from the 1950s. As history we have already done in the first session, so you know from when the started the history OD actually. So from 1950s the various change model has been proposed to guide the core field of the OD actually, and to plan and to implement the change in order to promote the organizational effectiveness. Although they might not be explaining every situation in the real world, but these models provides the grounds. These model provides the grounds to the on which the change agent or the OD practitioner actually the change voice is changing. I'll have to switch off my video actually because sound is blurry. Just a moment. After sharing the PPT, actually, this is the problem actually, okay. Yeah. Hello, can you hear me all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so whatever I was talking about, these are the models actually, various models are there. If you'll be surfing the net actually, the OD models, the net is flooded with the OD models actually. So, but what I have picked up the 4 main models today to discuss it about actually. So what I was saying, these models provide the grounds on which the change agent or the practitioner might or can proceed for the designing, planning, and implementing the change. What is the role of model actually from last 20 years, approximately 20 years actually, these models are used to guide the OD consulting process with the enhanced organizational effectiveness and through the adoption of the one or more or the various OD intervention strategies actually. So OD interventions next class I'll be doing the types of OD interventions. I'll be doing in length actually, because this is the major part. Interventions are the major part of the OD process actually. So in the length, these are the practical things which you need to understand. Okay, so role क्या है in models का in fact they will be providing you the grounds on which the OD practitioners or the consultants might proceed for the designing, planning, and implementing the change. So this is used to guide the OD consulting process actually with the adoption of the various OD interventions. So these are this is the little role I'll be talking about, and then I'll be coming to the organization. What is the link of the learning organization with the organizational development or the organizational change? So before coming to the overview of the model, in fact, so I'll be talking about the link of the learning organizations with the organizational development and the organizational change actually. Okay, it is important to understand that all OD interventions actually lead to some form of learning. Whatever OD interventions we use actually, they all lead to some form of change in the form of such as knowledge acquisition or the skill learning or the gaining of insights or so these, but unfortunately not all the OD interventions are resulting in creation of the learning organizations. So you need to know what are the models which are leading the to creation of the learning organizations, because learning or creation of the learning organization is an important hallmark of all the OD efforts, which distinguishes the field from the change management. So creation of learning organization, what I said, is the hallmark of all OD efforts, which distinguishes the field from the change management. So learning, these are the two concepts. It is important to understand the clarity in the difference between these two concepts. You can see on the screen, number one is the organizational learning, and second is the learning organization. Who can tell me what is the difference between the organizational learning and the learning organization? Who can tell me?
In learning organization, the systems is such that supports the employees to learn and grow in the organization. Whereas organizational learning is some kind of learning which the employees acquire while working in the organization. That is a
Anybody else
natural
can tell
process.
me? Because these two concepts actually should not be confused and cannot be used interchangeably, because there is a very important distinctions between the two actually, organization learning and the learning organizations. Anybody else can be able to tell what
Yeah,
is
ma'am,
organizational
good
learning
afternoon,
and
Rupesh this side. Learning
yeah,
organization is
Acha, you have
what,
come.
yeah, what the organization's learning from its environment in terms of business strategies like that. And organizational learning is what the employees are, I mean, taking new knowledge and skills from the other source of the organization.
No, what is the basic difference? What is the clear distinction between the two? Anyone?
Yeah, the learning organization is an organization that has inbuilt system of acquiring knowledge and creating and spreading dissemination of knowledge across the organization. Whereas
Very right.
organizational learning is as an while working we are learning so many things. So that is natural. There is no system involved in it.
Now you have come to the gist actually. What is the difference actually? Organizational learning is a learning process that naturally exists in all organizations without any planned effort.
Yeah.
Okay, organization learning is naturally occurs or exists in all organizations without any planned learning. But a learning organization is described as a type of organization that requires or put conscious effort to create the culture of learning. To establish the systems into the whole system, into the organizations. A learning organization is an organization that seeks to create its own future, that assumes learning is as an ongoing and creative process for its members. A learning organization is an organization that develops, adapts, and transforms itself in response to the needs and aspirations of their people, both inside and outside, both internally and externally. So what did they do actually? What is the advantage? Such organization, the learning organization, because they requires the conscious effort. They are putting the conscious effort. They are planned actually for creating the culture of the learning into the organization. And such an organization therefore seeks to continuously improve itself as a whole. How? By proactively adapting organizational learning activities in order to manage effectively both internal and external change situations ahead of the time. What is the advantage of the learning organizations? Because they're able to address to the change situations ahead of the time actually. So that is why the learning organizations, because they get advantage, That's why the advantage associated with the learning organization cannot be underestimated. So what are the advantages of the learning organizations? You can see on the on your screen. So first, it enhances organizations capabilities to meet the ever changing complex needs of the organizations. Second, it gives organization a sustained competitive edge over other organizations. And third, continuous knowledge acquisitions or knowledge gaining and the learning into new product and services allows learning organization to constantly create new source of wealth. So these are the advantages which are associated with the learning organizations actually. Okay, because they are able to create the new sources of the wealth themselves, because they are putting the the conscious effort to create the culture of learning, the knowledge acquisitions into the learning skills, into the gaining the insights, into changing the habits, changing the attitude, changing the behaviors of the employees. So they are bringing the conscious effort to change for the change management. Okay, and that is the reason that all creation of learning organization is the ultimate focus of the field of OD. And being OD practitioner, you should target the creation of learning organization as not as a desirable outcome, but as an imperative one. Why I'm clarifying the learning organization? Because before coming to the OD models, you people need to understand what type of OD models you should be adapting for guide the OD consulting process, which is leading to the promotional, so promoting, which is promoting the organizational effectiveness, and secondly, which is helping the organization creation of the learning organizations. And that's why you need to understand the difference between the organization learning and the learning organization. So this is the link of the learning organization. And learning organization, if I'll give you the example, like Adobe, Google, these are the learning organization. They are putting the conscious effort actually to bringing the change into the and that's why they're consistent performing the market, in fact. So that's why little on the learning organization really before coming to the overview of the model. So I wanted to give you. Now I'll be coming to the overview of the OD models actually. अब देखिए OD models, as I told you that there's a various, the net is flooded with the OD models actually. So various OD models are there, but conceptually organizational change approaches are based on two main theories. So number one is a change process theory, and the second is the implementation theory. Okay, and the change where somebody knows this theory? Anybody knows about this theory?
No, I'm forgotten.
So the change process theory actually concerns with the dynamics of the change process. That means how and why change occurs. Whereas implementation theories addresses how action generate change and what actions can be taken to initiate and guide change. So this is the basic, and this the conceptually organizational change approaches are these two main theories actually. The
Ma'am,
change
please
process
explain it once again.
Okay, change process theory is concerned with the dynamics of the change process, that how and why change occurs, how change occurs and the why change.
Why
Okay,
change?
why change occurs in the organization context if we will be talking about. Whereas the implementation theory is addressing how action, now we'll be coming to the actions, how action generate changes, how the action or the behavior of the employees generate the changes, and what actions can be taken to initiate and guide the change. Okay, and the one clear and one very important distinction between the two is that the change process theory is largely developed by the academicians, whereas the implementation theories are largely developed by the practitioners or the professionals. Okay, so from that point of view, I'll be discussing today the four main models which are the implementation model. because being professionals actually, so we'll be focusing on the implementation model, which will be guiding you people for the OD consulting process actually. So today I have picked up these 4 main models, which are the for the plan change. That number 1 is the Kurt Lewin 3-step model. Is a very, I had told you, Kurt Lewin is the father of the OD, or the father of the change management. Actually, he is the expert researcher. He was the expert in the field of the group dynamics. Okay, so first is the Kurt Lewin 3-step model of the change. Second is the action research. So today action research we have already discussed last class, history also, but as a model we'll be discussing the action research model today, 8 steps action research model today for the implementation, which will be guiding the OD practitioners how to plan and implement the changes into the organizations. And third is a 4D appreciative inquiry model. This also I have touched in the first session actually, in the OD strategy when I was telling, but that today as a model, as a process, we'll be discussing it out actually. This, so 4D model, and the fourth will be the general model of plan change. Okay, so these are the four models, which are the implementation model, which will be guiding you how to plan and how to design, plan, and implement the changes actually into the organization. So coming to the first model, sorry. Yeah. Oh, just a moment. Kurt Lewin, this is the first 3-step model of the changes. This is the very common, I think most of the people can recall this model. The management also it is taught actually. So 3-step, what is the background? These models will be discussing, I'll be discussing today under the 2 component, one background and the core components or the process, which will be providing, which will be guiding you as how you can carry the change into the organizations. So background, what is the background with this 3-step model of the change? That this model was proposed by the Kurt Lewin in 1947, and it focuses on conditions or forces that drive or hinder the behaviors. So basically, this model focuses on change from the perspective of employee behavior. Okay, so this model is focusing on change from the perspective of the employee behavior. It focuses on the forces that drive or hinder the behaviors. According to this social scientist, the human behavior is the result of a dynamic balance of forces working in opposite directions. And which are these 2 forces? Driving forces and the restraining forces. What are the driving forces? You all are the professional actually. What are the driving forces for the employees in the organization which pushes them to adapt, facilitate the change? One example you can tell. Driving forces means positive forces, which are pushing the employees to facilitate the change actually. Getting it out? So what are those driving forces into the organization? Who can tell me?
If somebody wants to have growth in career and learning new skills for changing, maybe that can be a driving force for people. I'm just guessing.
That's what the interaction means. You need to apply your mind.
Yeah.
So nothing wrong in that actually. That we'll be learning through the interaction only. We are learning actually. Nobody is perfect in this world. So we all are learning every day. Learning is a continuous process actually. So we are L&D professionals. That's what I'm saying. Nobody. So you can discuss it. Learning what I was telling actually, driving forces. Anybody else can they apply the mind, rack the mind? What are the driving forces for the employees in the organizations? Positive forces.
Definitely, employee will think that what will they get out of it? I mean,
example. Tell me the example precisely. You tell me example. Give me the example. Other driving forces.
And the
growth of individual growth, career plan.
How? Personal development, opportunity.
Personal development.
Yeah, that's just precise. Just like incentive schemes. Incentive schemes we are designing into the organization. This is the monetary benefit, which is the most motivating factor for the employees. Why monetary benefits are actually reward and recognition system. We have so many bonuses right now. The multinational company give anybody knows the types of incentives schemes? How many types of this incentive schemes we're introducing into the professional companies? Anyone? Little on the incentives I'll be talking, because this is the monetary benefits, which is the most motivating factor for the employees actually. Because benefits are in kinds actually, not in the, but the incentive are the monetary benefits. So which is linked with the performance of the employees actually. And there are the three types of incentive schemes which we are designing into the organizations. The first is the bonuses. And if you'll be checking into the multinational company, there's so many bonuses actually, like a performance bonus, loyalty bonus, joining bonus, attendance bonus they are giving. If you'll be not be taking any leave from the 3 months, you'll be getting the 3,000 rupees as attendance bonus. Performance. So many bonuses which are linked with the performance of the employees. These are the driving forces actually for the employees, which are pushing what they are doing. These are facilitating the change and pushing the employees to from the current behavior to the desired level of the behavior, to the plan, through the plan change. Whatever we are planning the change to bring into them. So these driving forces are pushing the employees towards that directions actually. And restraining forces are the opposing forces, which are hindering to the changes. They're pushing the employees into the opposite direction, not to change actually. So driving what Kurt Lewin three-step model. So they introduce the driving force and the restraining forces. These are the two forces. So which are the affecting, they are focusing on the forces and drive which are hindering and driving the behavior or changing the behavior of the employees. The existing behavior problem situation, the status quo, which is the present, what is the present behavior of the employees, that actually is referred as a quasi-stationary equilibrium state into this three-step model. Okay, so this is the background of the three-step model. Coming to the core components of this model, actually, what is the process we are following for bringing the plan change into the organization. So according to the Kurt Lewin, a successful change project is the three-stage process. What is the three stage? First stage is the unfreezing the old behavior. Second is the moving to a new level of behavior. Here the change occurs. Moving means moving for change. So moving to a new level of behavior. And third stage is a refreezing the behavior at the new level. Okay, so coming to the first stage, unfreezing the old behavior. What is this stage actually? This stage actually involves recognizing the need for a change and improvement. During this stage, change agent and all those involved in the leading the process of the change sources for informations, so required to solve the identified problems or the lapses or the gaps. Okay, so whatever problems have been identified, whatever lapses or the gaps have been identified between the present behavior and the desired behavior, so that they need to involve all process, they need to involve all those people who are going to get affected from that change. Okay, and this step is very important because it requires that leaders and managers should educate and motivate their subordinates so that they can buy the idea of change. Okay, because as I had told you the first classes also, what is a long-term process? We cannot force the employees to change. Okay, it should be coming from within actually, otherwise no change is possible without the willingness. We cannot force the change on the employee actually. So it is very important to state at this point that any change process initiative involves two divergent types of forces, as I told, and therefore necessary at this stage to identify the driving force, that which are the forces which are driving the facilitating the change, driving force of the change, as well as the restraining forces of change, which is alternatively referred to as the benefits and cost of the change in the implementations. So this is based on you need to increase the driving force into the organization, and you need to reduce the restraining force, or you can use the combination of both into the organization. You need to identify what are the driving forces. You need to increase the driving forces, keep on increasing the driving forces, restraining forces. As I told, they can be the group examples of the restraining forces. It can be the organization, poor organization culture. It can be the poor working environment. It can be the group norm behaviors, uncooperativeness of the line managers. So restraining forces, you need to identify these two forces, which are the driving forces in your organization and which are the restraining forces into your organization. So at this stage, so what you need to do actually, unfreezing stage, you need to recognize, number one, you need to recognize the need for change. Secondly, you need to determine what needs to be changed. Third, encourage the replacement of old behavior and attitudes. And fourth, ensure there is a strong support from the management. Without the support of the company leaders or the top management, you cannot bring any change in any organizations. In the training and development also, so we will discuss number of times about that. The top management, without the top management inclination, we cannot go with the OD process actually. Okay, and then lastly, manage and understand the doubts and concerns of the organizational member. So this is the unfreezing stage. Coming to the second stage, that is a moving actually. So moving stage is the moving for change. So moving to the new level of the behavior actually, from present level to the desired level. The stage 2 is the movement to a desired position actually. So this involves the development of new behaviors and attitudes and the execution of the change program. So this second stage, moving stage, or the change, this is the where the change occurs actually. So we are planning for the change. So this is a very critical stage, and according to the to this Kurt Lewin, actually, this is at this stage, you need to ensure a successful movement, such as you must provide continuous education on the need for the change that is taking place. You need to provide the continuous education to the organizational members, all level of the members, whether they are executives or the line managers or the employees. You need to give the continuous education for on the need of the change that is taking place. Secondly, you must provide extensive support to staff, especially those that are resistant, who are resistant for the change, who doesn't want to change. So you need to focus on them while this process actually at this stage. And thirdly, you must maintain an continuous flow of communication with your subordinates regarding the change process, especially about the benefits to be derived from this change process actually. So you need to continuous communication is required with the organizational members actually at this stage. So moving is this at this stage, what you need to know, the gist, if I'll be summarizing it out. So number one, you need to plan the change. Number two, you need to implement the changes. And number three, help the employees to learn the concepts, the new concepts. Help the employees to learn the new concept and adapt the new changes into the which are we are bringing into the organization. So this is the second stage of the three-step model of the Kurt Lewin. And the third stage is the refreezing. Refreezing the behavioral at the new level. This means, what is the meaning of this actually? This means stabilizing a change interventions. Or the cultural norms actually. Okay, so for this stage to be successful, two things must be done over here actually. First, the employees must not be rushed or forced. as we have discussed before also, they must be given ample of time to adapt to the new changes. And that's why we used to say that OD is the long-term process. At least if you're adapting any organization for the OD process, actually 1 to 2 years, minimum the 2 years timing will be required for all these stages actually. So you need to give the ample time to the employees organizational members to adapt the new changes actually. And secondly, there is a need to emphasize the benefits of the change initiatives. They need to understand why to change, why they require to be changed. Actually, what is the benefit of the change initiative? They need to understand the benefits of the change initiatives actually. So this is at the for sustaining, stabilizing a change intervention. This is very important to make the understand these two things to the employees of the organization, to the all the members of the organization. So summarizing it out, if I'll be concluding on the rephrasing the stage. So number one, at this stage, changes are reinforced and stabilized. Okay.
Ma'am, we are not able to see the presentation.
Presentation you're not able to see. Why?
I think screen sharing is lost.
Screen sharing is lost. Why it is happening? Just a moment, let me see. Can you see now?
No, ma'am.
No?
Mhm.
I think electricity is also not going. Shit. Just then give me a sec. I'll have to call myself.
Yeah, now it is
Yeah,
visible.
now it is visible. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So third stage, refreezing stage, I was talking about the first model actually, the refreezing. So refreezing, if I'll summarize what I said, at this stage, change are reinforced and stabilized. Secondly, integrate these changes into the normal way to the for doing the things for the organizational members. And thirdly, develop way to sustain change. So reinforce stabilizing sustainability is very important. And then lastly, at the rephrasing is celebrate the success. If you're bringing, if you're able to bring the successful change, then then only you can enjoy the change process of the organizations actually. So this is the first model actually. Any question from here? Then I'll be moving to the second model. Time is less. So this
No,
is
ma'am.
this is from the Kurt Lewin 3-step model. Okay. Second is the 8 steps action research model. Action research background we have already, history we have already talked in the first class, but I'll be brief. In the brief, I'll be going for the background. So you know this action research model who has given proposed again by the Kurt Lewin.
Kurt
Okay,
Lewin.
again, this model of planchette is also proposed by the Kurt Lewin in 1946, and this is a research-based change process. As I had discussed in the last session, also the key component of the action researchers is the systematic collection of the survey data and feeding it back to the client organization to use it or for managing the changes actually. So action research is the collaborative effort between the organizational members and researchers to analyze the causes of problems and devise and implement the solutions. So it is a dual process of knowledge creation and the problem solving. So action research is a very, because evaluation देखिए after the model, actually I'll be going for the similarities, we'll be discussing about the similarities and differentiating characters of these models, and then we'll be evaluating, which is very important part. Evaluate, आपको evaluation is a very important part of this thing actually. Okay, so what is this model? This is the dual process for knowledge creation and the problem solving. What is the core component of this model actually? Action research is actually the spiral of steps for guiding the plan change within the organization, which involves the 8 main steps. A spiral of steps we used to call that, each of which composed of the circle of planning, action, fact finding about the result of the action actually. So that's why it is known as the spiral of these steps. Action research is actually known as the spiral of the steps actually, and it is involving the 8 steps. First is the problem identification. So this will be the always be the first step, problem identification. So it involves the sensing a change situation or identifying the problems within the organizations. So usually this is done by an executive of the organization or a powerful and influential person within the organizations who realizes one or more problems that might be solved with the help of the OD practitioners. So they are realizing the need of the OD practitioner. They are realizing, and they are realizing that there is a more than one problems in the organizations, and then at this step they are sensing the change situation and they are identifying the problems. So once the problem had been identified, so second step is the consulting with behavioral science expert or the OD practitioner, we can say, or in the organizational term. So this step involves the organizations consulting with a behavioral science expert or the OD practitioner. And during this stage, the expert may share his framework for implementing plan change with the organization in order to establish an open and collaborative relationship with the leaders of the organizations. So this is the step where the organizations need to find out the OD practitioner or the consultant or the behavioral science expert, or and after that that expert in turn they need to share the framework for implementation for and the plan change. Okay, so this is the stage. These two things are, they are finding mutually. Okay, they are finding, the organizations will be finding the practitioner, the consultant, and the practitioner will be sharing their framework for plan change with the organizations. This is the second step. Third step after this is the data gathering and the preliminary diagnosis. Okay, at the third step actually concerns data gathering and the preliminary diagnosis of the organizational problems within the organizations by organizational members. So with the help of the organizational members, the OD practitioners are gathering the data related to the behavioral or the working on whatever is the problem had been identified at the first step. Actually related to that, they will be collecting the data at this step. Here the OD practitioner may use process of the observations of whom we are talking about in organizational context, organization of the HODs or the line managers or the top management. Okay, and then interview. So observations, interviews, questionnaires, organizational performance data to gather the appropriate and the potential informations about the organizations is the, we can use this OD practitioner maybe use these processes actually for gathering the data on the organization on the problem identified. Okay, so this information is then analyzed to understand precisely how the organization is currently functioning. Why we are gathering this data? So from this data, at this stage, you need to being OD consultant, you need to actually analyze how the organization is currently functioning and to determine the underlying causes and the consequences of the problems within the organizations. What are the causes of the problems and what are the consequences of these problems within the organizations? Both needs to be identified or analyzed at this stage actually. Okay, so once you have analyzed this, then the fourth step will be moving, which is the feedback. Now you are having the diagnostic informations. You have collected the data, you have diagnosed the problem, you have collected the data on that, and you have analyzed the data, and then you have whatever conclusion have been drawn for that analysis, actually, that you need to feedback to your client organization, actually. So this step follows the data gathering stages and follow करता है किसे data gathering stages, and they involves the OD practitioner feeding back findings of the diagnostic exercises to the members, organizational members, like a employee, managers, executive, as I told, all level, the people who will be affected by the change and who will be देखिए, I had told in the last classes also, because for the success of any OD process, actually, it is very important to involve those people into the planning and implementation of the OD process, which are going to affect by that change. Because OD process can be maybe for the whole system change. It can be for the single department also. It can be the single plant also. It can be for the single work group, or for the job description or the roles at the individual. So at the all the three level, the OD processes are applied, actually. So that is very important, actually, with whom you'll be sharing. So those people who are going to affect from that changes, actually, they need to be involved into the change process of the planning and implementation at this stage. So you need to feed back the diagnosed or the conclusion drawn from the data to them. So a balance between the openness about the relevant and useful information, how much you want to share, what the confidentiality of the data is there, actually, that you need to decide to what extent you need to share the data with the members of the organization. So at this stage, actually, this is very important. So once the client is having the fight, they will be using it out. Now the fifth step will be coming, joint diagnosis of the problem. So now we have feeded back. अब देखिए, joint diagnosis of the problem is very important. This step follows feedback to the client. At this stage, the OD practitioner, being OD consultant or OD practitioner, and organizational members jointly needs to agree on the problems which have been identified and on the causes of the problems or the consequences of the problems. They need to be agreed jointly, because the gaps in communication during the data gathering stage could result in misdiagnosis. And as you all know, the success of the OD process will be depending upon the accuracy of the diagnosis, on the accuracy of the problem identifications. If you are not able to diagnose properly, then there will be the misdiagnosis. If there will be the gap between the organization members and the OD practitioner in gathering the data, actually, so there will be the misdiagnosis, and then whole OD process will go west. So this is a very critical stage. What I'm saying, the fifth stage, the joint diagnosis, is a very critical stage within the action research model. So as misdiagnosis or misunderstanding of the diagnosed problems could bring the change process to a halt or create a resistance to change. Okay, so it is a very critical stage. So jointly, they need to be agreed upon the problems. What is the problem with the organization? What is the causes of the problem? And what are the consequences of the problem? They need to agree jointly on that. Okay, after agreeing on that, then you need to move for the sixth step, which is the joint action. So joint diagnosis of the problem, sorry, joint action planning, actually. Okay, so ab dekhiye, this step proceeds the actual action phase and involves the OD practitioner and organizational members jointly agreeing on the actions or interventions needed to bring about the desired change. So this is the basically the planning the OD intervention. This is the step. You need to plan the OD interventions. You need to design the OD interventions. So the specific interventions basically will be dealing discussing in the next class, but you basically, you know, what are the interventions means we are talking about the what actions, what should be taken to bring the change, actually to make the change happen, what actions should be taken, what activities should be carried to manage the changes actually. So at the specific action agreed upon at this stage usually depends on the host of the factors actually, like on the diagnosis of the problem, then the culture of the organization, then the natures of the interventions or actions. So depends upon the host of the factor, the what action should be taken actually. So once you're designing, you're planning the OD interventions strategy over here at this step, then you'll be moving to the action phase actually. Okay, so something is in the missing actually. The 8th step is missing into this actually. So 7th step is the action step, and the 6th step is missing into this. You can see the joint action planning actually. Joint diagnosis के बाद आपका joint action planning है, and then the action is there, action phase is there. So 7th step is actually the action phase, and 8th is the data gathering after action. So something is the typing error into this my screen, you can see it out. So you can add on to this. So action से पहले आपका क्या होगा, the joint action planning will be there at this stage, which will be planning or designing the OD interventions, and then 7th step by action phase will be coming, that is the implementation phase. At the action phase, the planned actions are undertaken to bring about desired changes to overall organizations. Now you need to decide whether the change is requiring a strategic changes require the strategic mission, or the goals needs to be changed, or the structures, organizational structure needs to be changed, or the human processes needs to be changed, or human resource or the peoples of the organizations needs to be changed. So that all the action phases actually we are deciding the designing, and then we are implementing the interventions over here. So whether the changes are required at the organization level, on the whole system, or at the group level, or the individual level, this is the action phase actually, which is once we have implemented the interventions, then 8th step of this action research is the data gathering after action. So at this step, data gathering after the action has been taken. It is the last step of this model actually. Here the OD practitioners gather the data on the effects of the actions and feeds this information back to the client actually. Okay, after implementation of the actions, after the implementation of the interventions, what is the effect of it, whatever actions and activities we have carried, and we need to feed back these effects or the data to the client organization again. Okay, so this may result in re-diagnosis and the new actions, giving this model the cyclic nature. So this is the OD8 is an action research model, is basically a cyclic in nature actually. So once the you are taking the data after the implementation actually, if you're finding some lacking, then the re-diagnosis is done, then the new action will be taken it out actually. So therefore the process continuously continues. Okay, and that's why it is never ending process. So that's why the model is known as a spiral of steps actually. So why the action research model is known as a spiral of steps actually, because it's a cyclical process actually. So we keep on diagnosing, we keep on re-diagnosing, we will be keep on taking the new actions actually. So this process continues, it is a never ending process actually. So action research model is not a linear model, it's a cyclic model actually. Okay, so this is the 8 steps. We'll be moving fast now. The third model is the 4D appreciative inquiry model actually. So this I had told you in the last classes also. So what is the background of it actually? One of the first OD model operated outside the Levinian paradigm of planned change. So first two model, 3-step model and the action research model is proposed by the Kurt Lewin, but this is out of the Levinian paradigm actually. This is the first model actually which has been, so originally this model, the 4D model, has been proposed by the Cooper, Ryder and the Srivastava in 1987. Okay, and then this model adopts a positive approach to change. This model adopts the positive approach to change as an alternative to the problem-centered approach of action research. This is different from the what two models we have discussed before actually. Okay, so these two models, action research is a problem centered model, but this is the model believe on that new ideas and the positive ideas are the alternative for the bringing the change into the organization. So this model is firmly grounded on social constructivist theory, which draws on narrative OD approaches such as storytelling to generate the new ideas, new theories, and images of the future for changes actually. So social constructivist theory पे ये believe करता है this model actually. Okay, and the appreciative inquiry model is a collective discovery process into the best of what is, what could be, what should be, and what will be actually. So what is the meaning of that actually? We'll be talking into the core components actually. So core components क्या हैं इसके? According to the 4D model of the appreciative inquiry, organizational change is the cyclic process that this is also cyclic process that begins with discovery. Discovery of what actually? So discovery, last I had given you the brief actually. Okay, this is the period actually to think and reflect on the present state of the subject inquiry. At this stage, an inquiry is made into the subject of change. So using the participants' reflections and discussions on the best of what is in the organization in relation to the subject matter actually. So this is the stage, discovery is the stage which appreciate the best of what organization is having. That means it is appreciating, it is talking about the strengths of the organization. So it is focus is the positive actually. Focuses on the positive things of the organization, the strengths of the organization. So at this stage, you need to discover what best the organization is having at the discovering stage. Second D is the dream phase. 4D model hai. First is discovery and the second D is the dream phase. So dream phase is what? This stage is very important actually, as it paints the actually the better picture in the mind of the practitioner or the organization members actually. The participants of this program actually, they require to conceptualize the old ideal situation that they all will aspire to experience in the organizations. So dream phase follows the discovery stage and involves organization members visualizing the organization in ideal state to in relation to the subject of change, the present subject of change actually. So usually an attempt is made to identify at this stage what you need to identify at this stage and symbolize the common aspirations or dream of the organizational members. So dream phase is that actually. Dream phase is basically envisioning what could be or ideal situation, what could be the ideal state for the organization. So dream member, the organization member needs to conceptualize the vision over here. Third is D is the designing phase. So designing at this stage, what you need to do at this stage, the participants are asked to design an ideal organization as conceptualized at the dream stage. So the design stage is the third phase of the 4D model, which involves the members developing concrete proposals for the new organizational state, as well as the compelling possibility or design statements to bridge up the gap between the current best practices and the ideal future state of the organizations. So designing phase, what new ideas, what the new best practices can be you need to design what best practices we can bring to the organizations actually. That needs to be designed at the this phase actually. And the fourth and the last phase of this model is the 4D model is the delivery or destiny phase. So देखिए after the this is the final stage actually of this model. So at the final stage, members take actions in line with the design statements. Whatever at the design stage actually phases, they have idealized the ideal organization, how the ideal organization should be actually. So they are taking the actions in line with the design statement. So at this stage, they are assessing the results of their actions and make the necessary the readjustments to move the organization towards the vision or the ideal state in order to achieve the what will be. So if I'll be summarizing this 4D model actually, so discovery, what a you need to discover, you need to appreciating the best of what is, dream, envision what could be, and then design or co-constructing what should be, and then destiny, sustaining what will be. So this is the phase of what is, what could be, what should be, and what will be. So appreciating discovery, appreciate the strength of the organization at the discovery phase, then envision what could be at the dream phase, and then co-constructing or designing what should be, or the what best practices should be in the organization, and then sustaining what will be. Whatever you have implementing, what best practices you'll be implementing, what ideas you are implementing, that should be sustained at the delivery or the destiny phase. So this is the 4D model, which is originally proposed by the Cooper Ryder and Srivastava actually. And this is the first model out of the Kurt-Lewin paradigm. Okay. Fourth model is the general model of the plan changes. Okay, general model of the plan changes. Background क्या है इसका? Proposed by the Cummings and Worley in 2019. It is general framework for guiding the OD consulting process. So I am moving little fast for the models actually. After the summarizing, we'll be discussing over here. Okay. Any questions in between actually you can ask me after the, I'll be explaining the models, all the 4 models. Okay. So general model of the plan change क्या है? Proposed by the Cummings and the Worley in 2019. Okay, after approximately after 30 years it came out. It is a general framework for guiding the OD consulting process. This general OD model focuses on plan change from a problem solving perspective, as well as from the perspective of identifying and leveraging the best practices within the organization. That means it is focusing on identification of the problems as well as identifying the opportunities into the organization. So this model emphasizes not only on a participative approach to change, but also an overlapping and non-linear approach to plan change. So what are the core components of this model actually? So according to general OD model, plan change with organization can be within organization can be achieved in 4. The organization change can be achieved in 4 main stages through the 4 sets of activity. What are those 4 sets of activity or the 4 main stages? First stage is entering and contracting. Second is diagnosis and the feedback, and then planning and implementation, and fourth is evaluation and institutionalization of the change. Planning and implementation of change, and then evaluation and institutionalization of that change actually. But this general OD model, because I will be going, this is at the latter stage, this was lacking something actually. So what it was lacking? It was lacking the assessment of the organizational and the client factors. This model was lacking the empowering the withdrawal stage before the withdrawing the roles of the OD practitioner, how to empower the organizational key members. So that was the lacking of the general model actually, and the latter stage it is revised. So revised general model of the plan change actually consists of the 6 steps. So apart from these 4 models, the 4 steps which we have talked about, 2 more steps had been added to it to take out the lackness or drawbacks of this model actually. Whatever lacking was there into this model. So 2 steps has been, third and the 6th step has been added into it out. So the general body of plans is revised. And the revised model, अब देखिए क्या है, up now, apart from the 4th step, now what are the 6 steps? First, it was entering and contracting, same. Second, diagnosis and feedback, same. Now the third is the Oh, this has been actually be typing I had given to my son. It has third step is actually assessing organizational and client factors. Can you write down this separately? Actually, the revised general model steps, it has been wrongly actually the typed in fact. First is entering and contracting. Second is the diagnosing and feedback. Then third is the assessing organizational, accessing, not accessing, assessing organizational and client factors. Then fourth is planning and implementation. Then fifth is evaluation and institutionalization. And then sixth, which is added, empowering withdrawal stages. So first, entering and contracting stage, I'll be coming out. Entering and contracting stage, kya hota, you all know. Entering first stage describe the initial set of activities that the change agent and the organization must engage in. So what is the entering actually? Entering, what is the meaning of the entering? Who can tell me what do we mean by the entering? Organizational entry involves what? Clarifying the organizational issues. Then presenting the problem identified, then determining the relevant client and selecting the OD practitioners or the change agent. Entering, the first stage actually describe the initial set of activities that change agent and the organization must engage in order to better understand what needs to be improved or facilitated and whether to engage the OD practitioner further into the planned change program or not. So the activities at this stage includes the data gathering to identify the problems or opportunities for change, then joint discussion of the data gathered, then agreement to engage in the plan change, and the setting expectations around the role of the consultant or the expert. So entering the organizational entry involves the clarifying the organization issues, then presenting the problems identified, determining the relevance of the problem to the client, and then selecting the OD practitioner. And contracting involves setting mutual expectations between the organization and the organizational members and the OD practitioner, then negotiating the time and resources, and then developing ground rule for working together. So contracting involves that all those. So this is the first stage of the revised general model of the plan change, or the general model also and the revised general model also. First step is the same. Second is the diagnosis of feedback. We have already talked about ki problem identify kar the second you need to diagnose and feeding it back to the client organization. You are diagnosing, you are collecting the data at this step through the observations, through the survey questionnaire, through the questionnaire, but through the interview of the organizational members. You are collecting the data, you are diagnosing the informations, analyzing the informations, and then the conclusion drawn is feeding back to the organization. Third is the planning and implement. Third stage is the new step which has been introduced by the which was the very important, is that is the assessing organizational and the client factors. This is the assessing organization client factors. Actually, it focuses on identifying those factors which are capable of influencing whether a plan change would be successful, accepted, implemented, or adopted. So this is these are the factors, the organizational factors and the change agent factors. These are the factors which can influence the success or failure of the plan change efforts.
Ma'am, what is the third stage?
Third step is the assessing organizational and the client factors. So organization, what are the organizational factors we are talking about over here? We are talking about the organizational readiness. That means whether the organization members are ready to accept that changes or not. Then the resources available with the organization, then support of all the members, then perceived need to change, then perceived self-efficacy to manage change, and then perceive the psychological cost of the expected change. You need to all organizational factors you need to assess before moving for planning and implementation phase actually. These are the very important, actually, the factors which needs to be assessed before moving to the planning and implementation, actually. So what are the client practitioner factors which we are talking about, actually? Factoring that change agent may need to assess, including their motivation, commitment, skills, and abilities required to implement the necessary intervention strategies. So OD consultant needs to have these. So these are the factors you need to assess. Okay, whether the OD practitioner, the consultants we are hiring, that is having these factors, they are having the motivation factor or capability or not. They can motivate to the employee. They are having the commitment, they can give the commitment towards the organization members or the company leaders or not. They are having the requisite skills or the abilities required to implement the OD interventions or not. So these are the factors at the third stage we need to assess it out, actually, which was not into the general model. Actually, in the revised general model, this step is introduced, actually. Okay. Then fourth step, we move to the planning and implementation. Planning, you need to design and plan the OD interventions, what actions should be taken, what activities should be carried for managing the change, actually. The implementation means we are talking about the leading and managing the change. Here falls at the implementation for phase, actually, the change management falls in the picture, actually. And the leading and managing the change, so last two sessions, actually, I'll be talking about the organizational change, and then the leading and what are the activities should be carried for leading and managing the effective change management. So that I'll be separately, because these are the major part, actually, which I'll be discussing separately, actually. Next sessions, I'll be discussing about the types of OD interventions, because OD intervention, as I told you, is a major part which is covering the OD process. It is covering the major part of the OD process, actually, with the OD interventions, which is the depends upon the success of the OD process depends upon the accuracy of the diagnosis first, and then the OD interventions. Okay, how successfully it is designed, how successfully it is implemented. Implementation means we are talking about the leading and managing the change management. Okay, so this is will be separately, we'll be discussing in length, actually, into the next two sessions, in fact. Okay, so after the planning and implementation, the evaluation and the institutionalization comes. What we are doing, actually, they planning, as I told you, these are the factors which are we are assessing, and then we are planning and implementation we are doing, and then we are evaluation and institutionalization. At the last, this is the second last stage of this model, actually. So the change process concern, here the change agent needs to gather the data on the current state of the organization following the implementation of the interventions, in order to ascertain how well the interventions accomplish the objectives that were planned. Whatever change we planned, what was the objective of planning the change, whether how successfully it has been accomplished, that we need to gather the data. So feedback to organization members about the impact of the intervention is also a significant activities at this stage, actually. So this stage, actually, it allows organization members, particularly to the top management, actually, to decide whether the changes should be continued, modified, or abolished. Okay, so when found to be successful, अब देखिए whatever change interventions we have introduced to the organization, when it is found at the evaluation phase, the management decides whether the changes should be continued, modified, or abolished. Okay, but if the changes are successful, when they are finding it successful, then the intervention becomes institutionalized, because that is a usual way in which the business is done in the organization, through the methods, best practices, such feedback, rewards, and the training. So institutionalization is that whenever whatever the change process plan change has been introduced, whatever OD interventions has been implemented into the organization, if it is successful, will be continues to be in the future as well. So it becomes again then cyclic process. So till here the general model was there. but the general model के अंदर again the revised model के अंदर the sixth and very important stages which has been actually involved is the empowering the withdrawal stages, which was not into the general model actually. What do we mean by the empowering the withdrawal phases? So it is actually proposed that the last stage should have the two pathways. Empowering withdrawal stages should have the two pathways. The change agent following the institutionalization of the change and before withdrawal from their roles, they should consciously train and empower the key organizational members. For what? For continuously learning, researching, and inquiring. What is the two pathways we are talking about? Before withdrawal of the roles of the OD practitioners, they should put the conscious effort to train and empower the key organizational members, and these key organization members, but maybe the motivated group members, or it can include the managers, or it can include the executives, but which members which are strongly interested in and dedicated to the activities that promote organizational effectiveness. So they need to continuously two pathways. So they organizational OD practitioner, they need to train them into the continuous learning, researching, and inquiring. And secondly, they proactively plan successful changes ahead of the change situations. So whenever there is a change situation ahead of the time, they proactively they need to plan the successful change interventions. Okay, so these are the two pathways which are the withdrawal phase पे before the role of the OD practitioner is withdrawal, they need to empower the key organization members. अब देखिए, the change agent following the institutionalization of the change may work with the organization members on a continuous basis to help the whole organization to engage in constant learning activities. As I told you, the learning organization का क्या है? This is they are seeking the continuous improvement as a whole by proactively introducing or adopting the what? The organizational learning activities, the constant learning activities. And the advantage of this recommended pathway is that together with the change agent, organization can continuously acquire, create, and use knowledge to alter their fundamental strategies, processes, practices, depends upon the problematic, what problem has been identified. So this way, organizations are likely to develop a culture of constant learning, and as a result, remain learning organization over the long term. So revised general model out of this four model is the only model which emphasizes on two outcomes of the plan change, which if I'll be summarizing it out, then I'll be telling in the last, actually I'll be telling it out. Okay, what are the two outcomes of the revised model? So all the four models I have described. Now what are the similarities and differentiating characteristics of these models? Similarities kya hai? All four models describe the main stages by which plan change unfold in the organizations. They all are having the steps and they all are having the stages to describe in the organization. Second similarity, all four models are implementation model that guides the process by which plan changes is developed and maintained in the organization. These are the four implementation model which are guiding the OD consulting process actually. So all emphasizes on change preceded by the diagnosis. Okay, all models emphasizes on change preceded by the diagnosis. Then similarity kya hai? All apply behavioral science knowledge. Then all involves organizational members in change process, and all models recognize the role of the consultant. Okay, less or more internal consultant or the external consultant, that will be discussing in the differences. What are the differentiating characteristics of these models actually? The first differentiating characters is the general versus specific activities. What is the meaning of that? Levin, the three-step model of the Kurt Levin, or focuses on the general process of the plan changes. It is a very simply overly simplistic and the linear approach. Three-step model kya hai? This is the linear approach actually. While the other three models kya hai? They are the cyclic approach, which are to explore the problem as well as problem identification, as well as knowledge creation, as well as identifying the opportunities. So general versus specific activities is this differentiation actually. Kurt-Lewin model is the general process of the plant change they are adapting, while the other three describes the process as well as the specific OD activities to bring about the changes. Second differentiation is centrality of the consultant role. So accept the Levin model actually as the simple model. So the action research model and the general OD model also differs from the appreciative inquiry model in that three approaches of emphasizing the role of the change agent with some participations of the organization members. Whereas the appreciating inquiry model or the 4D model views both the change agent and the organization members as co-learners who are mutually involved in the planned change process. Okay, so this is the difference. कि appreciative inquiry model is actually क्या है? They are considering both the change agent and the organization members as a co-learners who are mutually involved in the plan change process. But the rest of the three models are taking involving the some participations of the organization members apart from the role agent actually. And these models also differs in their change focus. In the change focus, देखिए appreciative inquiry approaches is concerned with identifying and leveraging the strength or the new ideas or the positive ideas or the best practices of the organization, where the Levin model and the action research model focuses on identifying and solving problems, whereas the integrated general OD model on the other hand focuses on both problem solving and development of opportunity as way to bring about the planned change. Okay, so as I had told you, the Levin models appears to be a linear approach, while the other three models supports a cyclic approach to exploring the problems of and the opportunities. So these are the basic differentiations, similarities, and the differentiating characteristics of these models. Coming to the evaluations, so just less time is there actually. So evaluation is very important actually. So evaluations we will be considering the strength, effectiveness, and the weaknesses in the first of the all the four models actually. So three-step model, how we will be evaluating now, it is very important part. So three-step model evaluation, the group-based approach is the key strength of this model. Then the simplicity of the model offers straightforward model to the organizational change. Okay, the Kurt-Lewin model. On other hand, Levin models has been criticized for being oversimplistic, linear, and relatively slow. It is also criticized for ignoring personal factors that can affect change, such as the feeling, experience, and past inputs of the employees. Then this model focuses on change. What is the another actually the weakness of this model? This model focuses on change largely from the perspective of employees behavior rather than from a whole system perspective. This was the greatest weakness of this model actually. Okay, this was focusing on the change largely from the perspective of employees behavior rather than from a whole system perspective. And this model appears to be relevant for managing only small scale change projects. For the larger change project, for the larger organizations, this model is a failure. Okay, so this is the evaluation of the three-step model. 8, action research model. What is the strength of this model actually? The action research model over the years made significant contribution to the field of OD and beyond through its emphasis on the dual process of knowledge creation and problem solving. This is the strength of this model, that it is a dual process model of knowledge creation as well as identifying the problem and the solving the problem or devising the problems. Okay, this concept has played and continues to play a critical role in bridging the researcher practitioner gap in the field of OD. So this is the concept of which is filling the gap between the bridging the gap between the researcher and OD practitioners. It is most used approach of OD practitioners. और आपको इसका strategy which is deriving from the action is a survey feedback. We had in the history also we had told this is the key component of the systematic collection of the data is the key component. So which is it is the most used approach of the OD practitioners actually by the OD practitioners. The action research model is known for its rigor and had shown an extensive contribution in the area of theory and methodology advancement. So you can see the strength of the action research model. It is an extensive contribution in the area of the theory and methodology advancement. Now coming on the other hand, on the contrary, Cooper-Ryder, what are the little criticism about this model actually? Cooper-Ryder and the Srivastava criticize the model and its underlying assumptions as focusing on utilitarian and technical views on organization for problem solving. Therefore, they proposed appreciative inquiry model as an alternative. As per Gumesan, the action research model is most demanding and extensive method of doing case study research because it is including the 8 steps, spiral steps. So this is the criticism or the weaknesses of this model actually. So when we were talking about the disadvantage of this is the disadvantage of the action research model. Coming to the 4D appreciative model, what is the strength of this model? The key strength of this model is focus on appreciating existing solution to generate new and positive ideas which have been argued for most important force for changing. So this was this is the only model which is out of the Kurt Lewin paradigm, and this is the key strength of this model, that it focusing on the change from bringing, it is finding that the new ideas, positive ideas, the best practices are the important force for change actually. So the effectiveness of this approach has also been well documented. 4D model latest test पे आई है, सबसे latest test पे, and the effectiveness of this approach has also well documented actually. It has been found that this model has been instrumental in bringing positive change and growth in both in a small as well as in large scale organization, including all the religious institutions, medical institution, armed forces, academic and educational organizations. So it is working, this 4D appreciative model is actually bringing the positive changes and growth in all small and the large scale organizations. On the other hand, what is the weakness? On the other hand, it has been criticized for omitting an important first step of identifying or defining the focus of the inquiry or the subject of change. So first step is the discovery stage of the 4D model. So it is omitting the problem identification step actually. So this is the first weakness, or it has been criticized because of that. And secondly, how the subject of change have not been well articulated and they clarified what it is. So in this method, it has been criticized for focusing solely on the strength of the organizations, and which is not practical. Getting it out? So this is focusing only on the strength of the organization, on the positive side of the organization, which is not the practical aspect. So this is the criticism of the 4D model. And the general model of the plan change, what is the strength? It encourages collaborative work between the change agent and the client and focuses on both problem identification and development of new and positive ideas and best practices. That means identifying or developing the opportunity as well as problem centered. Dono approach pe this model is focusing. It also targets change at organization level, at the group level, at the individual level. Organization level pe it is focusing on what change is strategic, whether the strategic change is required or structural change is required. Group level pe departmental behavior and norms needs to be changed. Individual level, job description, that means roles, responsibility, and the task performed by the individual needs to be changed. So it is targeting the change at all the 3 levels. organization level, organization group level, and the individual level. And then it emphasis in this model, the emphasis cycle of research and actions until the desired change has been achieved. So it is again the cyclic process. It encourages research to promote problem identification. In addition, the general OD model informs change agents not only about the stages of changes, but also provide clear guidance on the sets of activity necessary at each stage to move the organization to the desired stage. So this model was limited in two main aspects only. And now coming to the criticism or the weakness of the general model, which has been assessing, not accessing, this is the mistyping, actually typing error. It's not accessing, actually assessing organizational and client factors. Okay, and the empowering the withdrawal stage. This was the only lacking of the general model of the plan change, which has been eradicated into the revised model of the general model of the plan change. So this both the steps had been added into the revised model of the plan change. So now sorry, we'll be coming to the final analysis and synthesis of the stages of the plan change of the four models we have discussed today: the 3-step model, action research model, appreciative inquiry model, general model of plan change, and the revised general model of plan change. Now you can see the analysis of the all these models as per the stages of the changes. The first stage kya hai? Entering and contracting, which is not in 3-step model, yes in action research, general model, and the revised general models. These stages is involved into all these three, but this is not available into the 3-step and appreciative inquiry model. Second stage of change is diagnosis, diagnosing the problems, and feedback and unfreezing, yes in all. Diagnosis is the part of all the models. Then third, discovery of the best of what is only in appreciative model. Appreciative model discovery phase is there, what best organization is having. So no other model is having this stage actually. Next stage is assessing organizational and client factors. That is the part of only revised general model of plan change. Then planning and implementation, yes in all. All models are focusing on planning and implementation of the change OD interventions. Okay, dreaming and designing, all. So evaluation and institutionalization, no in 3-step model, no in appreciative inquiry model. But yes, evaluation and institutionalization is done into the action research model and general model and the revised general model. Coming to adoption and integration and delivery or destiny, yes in all models. Empowering and withdrawal, only available into the revised general model of the plan change. So now final analysis. Which model, targeted outcomes, what should be the targeted outcomes of all the models? Promoting the organizational effectiveness and creating the learning organizations. But you can see the outcomes. Promotional organizational effectiveness is the outcome of all the models, but creation of learning organization, only which model is leading? Only revised general model of the plan change. The 6 steps which we discussed about the revised general model, this is the, as per this analysis, this is the most ideal model to guide the, to be used or to be guide for the OD consulting process for designing, planning, and implementing the change. This is the only model which is resulting in the creation of the learning organization. And as I had said, that creation of the learning organization should be the ultimate focus of the all the OD efforts, because this is an important hallmark for the OD efforts, which distinguishes the field from the change management. So concluding to this process, so you can see the analysis, targeted outcomes, hum log ko sare model, whichever model you are referring or adopting, the first outcome should be promoting the organization effectiveness. And effectiveness I had discussed, they can be measured in 3 dimensions actually. Anybody can recall? Only 5 minutes I'll be taking more in concluding. Anybody can recall when we are talking the outcome, the promoting organizational effectiveness, how you'll be coming to know that you have brought the effectiveness to the organizations. What are how you can measure the effectiveness? What are the 3 main dimensions? I talked in the first classes, which is very important being professional actually to understand who are the effective organizations. What are the 3 dimensions for measuring the efforts of the OD? Anyone can tell? Alio.
Organizational level, position level, and individual level.
What? Organization effectiveness. Which organization is effective? How you'll be coming to know? How you'll be measuring it out? What are the 3 dimensions of the organizational effectiveness? Because all OD process outcome you need to target is the first is the organizational effective, promoting the organizational effectiveness. And effectiveness can be best measured in the 3 dimensions. I have told in the first class also, very important being professional to understand which organization is effective. Effective organizations are adaptable. First dimension kya hai? Organization. Effective organizations are adaptable. They can adapt the changes of their own. Second dimensions kya hai? The effective organizations are having high financial and technical growth. Okay. Third dimensions, effective organizations are having satisfied and what customers? Loyal customers. The effective organizations, if you're promoting, they are having the satisfied and the loyal customers, as well as satisfied, engaging and learning workforce. This is the dimension, 3 dimensions of the effectiveness actually. And the creation of the learning organization should be the ultimate. You should focus on ultimate result on creation of the learning organization out of the all the OD processes. So these are the 2 outcomes, both the outcomes which are targeted by the only one model, which is the organizational effectiveness. All the 4 models is promoting, but the creation of learning organization is promoted by only the revised general OD model. So coming on conclusions, अब देखिए the processes I'll be discussing in general right now. In the next session also I'll be analyzing out of all the models. I'll be giving you the normal steps of the processes actually. So if I'll be concluding today's sessions actually, so all the 4 models I taught were the implementation model, which can guide you the OD consultant process to plan and implement the change process. Secondly, all the models are having the 3 main stages. You need to realize it out. 3 main stages kaun se hai? Pre-interventions, interventions and the post-interventions. So as a OD professional and practitioner, you need to realize that when you are entering into the OD process, then what steps should be carried? Pre-interventions, then intervention, designing interventions and implementing interventions, what you need to do, and then post-intervention, what are the steps? So what steps we are carrying? Pre-interventions is the entering, contracting, diagnosing, analyzing the diagnostic report, joint consultations with the organization members in the diagnosis, and feeding back the diagnosed informations to the client. So these are the pre-interventions activities of the OD process. Then intervention stage pe kya karna hai aapko? You need to design the OD interventions, and then you need to implement the OD intervention, which will include leading and managing the change management. Okay. And post interventions, what steps will be carried out? Will be the evaluation and institutionalizations and empowering the withdrawal stage. Okay, so these are 3 main stages of all the models: the pre-intervention, intervention and the post intervention. So I'm concluding for the day today. So any questions still here, you can do it out. So little more time I have taken today. Yeah, tell me, have you understood?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
So are you getting the subject now? OD models का क्या role है? Why we are teaching you the models into the OD actually, because these are the models which are guiding, which will be providing you the grounds actually on which, being OD practitioners or the change agent, you can proceed for the designing, planning and implementing the change process. This is the OD consulting process. They are guiding. This is mostly, these models are used to guide the OD consulting process. This will be providing you the guides and the roadmap actually to how to move to the in the organization to bring the changes, to manage the changes, to implement the changes. Okay, getting it out. So next sessions will be discussing about when to use it out, and then types of the OD interventions, which is the very important part. Okay, so anything else you need to discuss today? So are you finding any worth of this today's session?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Hmm? So now I have stopped sharing the this thing so that I can switch on the video. Okay, so query you're not doing, so you just go through the first session. Also, what I have told is very important. OD models are the very important part of this topic actually. So should I wind up for the today if there's no query?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anand, you have understood? Arnav?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood.
Okay, okay then. Next session will be in the October actually. So I'm winding it up now today. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Bye bye.